Welcome to Beyond the Chutes, the rodeo podcast that dives deep into the heart of Western culture. I'm your host, Doug Simcox, and here we explore it all. Rodeo's rich histories, the legends and their stories, today's competitors shaping the sport, and the behind-the-scenes heroes who make it happen. From bucking chutes to timed events, from rodeo history to current events, this is your all-access pass to the world of rodeo. Our show is presented by ParaSight Systems, who help vet clinics and animal owners experience the power of sight. New in 2025, ParaSight Systems all-in-one diagnostic analyzer, which offers 37 tests to help veterinary practices save time, money, and pets. You can find them at ParasightSystems.com. This is Doug Simcox. I'm your host of Beyond the Chutes, and I hope you're having a great day wherever you may be. In early May, I traveled to Lewisburg, Ohio, and attended the second annual King Brothers Rodeo Reunion. It was a wonderful reunion. There was great food, a great gathering of people, lots of great conversation, and this is the first episode from that reunion. I had an opportunity to sit down with Rick Bevington, rodeo cowboy. He was a Roughstock rodeo rider, and today he remains in the business. He is a pro rodeo official. We hope that you enjoy our conversation. We're sitting here today with Rick Bevington. Of course, we're at the second annual King Brothers Rodeo Reunion. Rick, what brings you here today?
Well, I just meet up with all the guys that I've been rodeoing with for the last 50 years, which is a delight and something to keep me going, Just a pleasure of meeting them and talking about old times and just having a great time. Meeting all the good ones, back in good days, so.
And you are from Lewisburg here?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've been here in Lewisburg all my life. So.
And three-event cowboy, Roughstock rider?
Yes. Bareback, saddle, bronc, and bulls. Yep.
And how'd you find rodeo?
How what?
How did you find rodeo growing up in Lewisburg, Ohio?
Rodeo shop. Don and Joanne Lutz used to have shows out there in the wintertime, and they had ponies, bareback riding on ponies, and they had steer riding for the kids. And Jack Evers, Glenn Campbell, myself, and I can name off of many bull riders and bareback riders and saddle bronc riders, calf ropers that came from the rodeo shop. That's where we all started at. When we was 14, 15, 16 years old, we go out there and we was riding.
The rodeo shop?
Yeah. Don Joanne Lutz up at the rodeo shop on 40.
Here in Lewisburg?
Yeah, right here in Lewisburg. Yep. That's where we all started at, right there at the rodeo shop.
And friends just talked to friends and said, hey, you ought to come out and do this?
Yep, that's all it was. We got guys coming out of Greenville and Indiana and Ohio, Michigan, and coming down here, Illinois, Missouri, coming over, getting into roping and stuff, kids stuff. And we just revolved from that. We kept on going. We went to IRA rodeos and mid-states rodeos and just have been competing ever since. So, and now here we are, retired.
And so how many years did you ride?
How many years did I ride? About 14 years. 14 Yep.
And bareback, saddle broncs, and bulls, as you said. Did you have kind of a specialty, one that you were just kind of a bit better at or that you enjoyed?
I enjoyed more the bronc riding. I was always rode bareback horses and bulls first. And then when I started riding barebacks and bulls, it's got real competitive. And you had to be really on top of your game to be able to make money. So I took in bronc riding. Then I took in bronc riding and talked to Steve Lank and a couple of the other bronc riders, Ronnie Soul and a bunch of other bronc riders, and said, hey, I like to ride broncs, and I started riding broncs. And so that put into my entries for riding broncs. I started riding barebacks, saddle broncs, and bulls because it was so competitive back then. You had to ride more than one event to make enough money to go to the next one. So that's what we did. We got more events, and that's what most of us in the truck that were hauling. We was all in more than one event.
Okay. And you talk about a truck. Who owned the truck? Whose crew were you in, if there was such a thing?
Jack Eberts was his truck, but it was myself, Jack Eberts, Tommy Williams, Todd Daniels. I can't even remember all of them. But there's always 10, 12 of us in the truck. So there's a list of them.
10 or 12. So we're talking about a truck with the topper?
With a topper on it. Yeah, all it had was a topper on it, and everybody being in the back and 3 of us in the front. It was a bench seat, international, half-ton, 3/4 ton truck. It beat you to death. It kept you awake when you were driving.
And how on a given weekend, how many rodeos?
Oh gosh, every day from slack on Thursday all the way up till Sunday. Be heading back home on Sunday night. So, but yeah, it's every weekend. From Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we was on the road. We rodeo after rodeo after rodeo. Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, Kentucky. We go. Then we go to Bass Lake. Then wintertime we go Bass Lake, Indiana, Cowtown Arena, and stuff like that for rodeos. And did rodeos in wintertime there. So, but yeah, that's back in the day, way back in the day.
So what year would this be, Rick?
79, 70, 77, 78, 79.
Okay. And you were going hard. Were you working too?
Supposed to have been working, but no. No, I got fired 3 times from the same job. So, and so I left on Friday. I was supposed to work on Friday, and I leave on Friday mornings, and we'd be going off to rodeos, or I'd leave Thursday night and going to rodeos. So I get back Monday, I'd be fired, then Wednesday I'll be back to work. Same place.
To take off on Thursday again.
Yep, exactly. You take off again on Thursday. So that's what we did all summer long. Then Bass Lake, Indiana, and then all Bass Lake and Chanute, Illinois. There's a couple places we used to go for winter time that every Saturday and Sunday had rodeos, and that's where we go in the wintertime. Joanne's and stuff, and we just traveled and went to indoors in the wintertime. So, but a lot of traveling.
A lot of traveling. And traveling story that you could share, or a road adventure you could share? Our listeners love traveling stories. One that you can share. It is a family show. Okay, PG. Let's go PG.
All right. Yeah, we were, I believe we were in Illinois, and we was coming back, and one of the guys broke his leg. He didn't want to go to the hospital and get put fixed up or get in the cast or nothing, so he rode back in the truck. Tom Williams, who it was. And so all the way we was coming back home to Brookville, Indiana, where we all meet up at Slider's Water Shop. And all the way home, Tom, we tell him he had to get out the truck and get his own pop or his own potato chips, and he'd have a broken leg, and he'd go and wrap it up, and he'd get out and go to the truck stop, get something to eat, and try him back at the truck. All the way home, we tried to stop as many times as we could just to get him out of the truck so he didn't get stiff. But yeah, but we got him back home, and he called his girlfriend up. She came and got him there at Cowtown and took him there to the hospital, and sure enough, broke behind or below the knee. And he was in a cast for about 5 months.
So when you say Cowtown, what do you?
Slider's Western Shop. Slider's Western Shop used to be out here in Brookville. They had an indoor arena. Used to have rodeos there. King Bros had rodeos there. Bob Alexander had rodeos there, and then that's where we'd all meet up, and then we'd go there in the wintertime and go to their rodeos and stuff. But yeah, it's owned by Jim and Dot Slider. It's been years ago, but they retired, and then they sold the place. Now it's a trucking company, so they sell semis there, work on semis. But yeah, that building that they're working out of, that used to be an indoor arena, permanent rodeo arena. So.
And when did you retire from competition?
Competition, 81. I believe 81's when Yeah, I got married 79, with 80. Yeah, I think it was 80 or 81 I retired completely from riding. I've been judging rodeos for over 50 years now. So, because I've been judging since 70, 78, 77, and I've been judging ever since. Then I retired from riding and kept judging. So I've been judging for over 40-some years.
And you're still judging today?
Yes, I still judge IPRA, Mid-States, and APRA rodeos. So.
And APRA. So you get out in Pennsylvania, Ohio. Where do you?
Well, now it's co-approvals, co-approved rodeos. IPRA, MSRA, APRA, MSRA. They're all co-approved now. I mean, pretty much all your rodeos, they're co-approved rodeos. So to be able to judge, I have to have a card in them associations to judge them co-approved rodeos. So I have a card in Mid-States, IPRA, APRA, so I can judge them rodeos, them co-approved rodeos. So, but yeah, I go to Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana. So, but yeah, I just, around the area. So, try to stay close to home anymore.
Did you ever judge out Benton, Pennsylvania, Attica, New York?
Yep, sure did. Yep, I did some PBRs in New York. I used to judge bull ridings for PBR up in New York, or Sonny Williams. But yeah, I've done quite a few of them in Pennsylvania. But I to remember all of them, I couldn't tell you. From 40-some years of judging, I've been in Pennsylvania quite a bit.
How did everything change?
The contestants changed. The rules and stuff that they're doing, the changing the rules. It's so competitive now, and it just. It's challenging, really challenging, and now back in, that money wasn't much. I mean, it was $200, $300, $100 at rodeos, $250. Now then, 80s, 90s, it started to get up to $500. Now they got $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 at rodeos. So it made it more competitive and making more money to be able to make a living at it. Where before, back in the 70s and 80s, it wasn't no living at it. Even in the IPRA, there was no living, living at rodeo in Kazakhstan. But now it is. Bull riding, the way bull riding is, now you got million dollar bull riders, they're earning millions of dollars. So, and now it's happening in rodeo too. Now you got the All-American over there. $1 million, event. They make $1 million, and so compare from there to there. It's night and day difference, night and day.
And what are you seeing for a difference in not just the money, livestock? What are you seeing, and at the local level, what are you seeing?
The lifestyle is so much different. Back then.
No, livestock.
Oh, the livestock. Oh, livestock is changed. Because of the new breeding and the way they're bringing up livestock. But the livestock now is pretty much, to me, from judging, from the years I've been judging, it's changed, but not as much. I think there's more top-end horses, top-end bulls, than there was back then. But as far as the power and the kick and everything that they got in the bulls and the bareback horse, saddle bronc horse are pretty much the same. Are they? So back when you started judging, late 70s, is it fair to say that an average horse might be on a score of 1 to 25 for your side on the bronc? Might it be 16, 17, and what is it today? Yeah, horse side marked 16, 17 back in them days. Are now they're marking 19 and 20.
That much of a difference in the livestock.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, the reason being is back then, nobody wanted to hit 100. no judge or no cowboy or no association wanted to see anybody hit 100. It's only been done one time.
Yeah.
But so for that not to happen, the scores are kept down. I felt that it was kept down. And what they did back in the day, they set an average. The judge would set an average. He said, all right, we're going with a 15-point average. Okay, so we mark from 15 1 point or 2 points up, or 15 1 point, 2 points down. Well, now you got 1 to 25. You judge from 1 to 25.
You do.
You get a 24-pointer, you mark a 24. If you get a 9-pointer, you mark a 9-pointer. Yeah, people get a little aggravated. Contractor gets a little aggravated when you mark the horses below an average, but you got to mark them the way you see them, you know. And the whole thing is when we mark them, it's our opinion. And our opinion is the one that counts. The judge's opinion is the one that counts. It's not the contractor, it's not the rider, it's our opinion. And everybody's got an opinion, which everybody knows. Everybody's got an opinion because everybody's got a butt, you know. But the whole thing is now there's no such thing as a spread now. It's you mark them 1 to 25, whatever it is, wherever he bucks or how he makes his moves and turns and stuff. If it's a 22, 23 pointer, you mark him 22, 23. It's not like, well, okay, we're 15 hours, we'll mark him at 17, 18. That's no more. Yeah.
And you are seeing 22, 23-point
Yes,
broncs.
sir. I did a rodeo in bull riding in northern Indiana. Up in northern Indiana. We had 5 90-point rides there.
Real 90 pointers.
Real 90-point rides, and I only paid 3 monies. So them 2 guys, it was 90 points too, that didn't get any money because there was a 92, 91, and 91 and a half, and a 90. So you know, they're out there. I mean, I've marked 90-point rides at other places. Their 90 pointers are out there. The caliber of Cowboy, which has got a lot to do with it. The Cowboy's got a lot to do with it. It's not just the animal; it's the rider too. I look a lot more. I look at the riders a lot more different from what I did, where I used to judge, because back then, you know, if you stayed on, you're going to get marked. Now, what we're looking for now is control, movement, squareness on the animal, spring action from the front to the back to the handle and stuff, where they're at in the neck. So we're looking at a lot more different from what we did back then. Because the caliber of Cowboys changed too. I mean, them guys now, they got the practice animals, the practice dummies at home and stuff, and they're learning how to spur them animals in the main line up to the handhold. They're learning how to spur up to the neck of that horse, to the back to the back kickboard. So, you know, and the bull riders, they're learning to sit square. They have to sit square on a bull and set up on the rope and move them feet to ride them 90 pointers. So if they're riding that 20, 22, 23, 24 point, and they're riding them right, and they cover them for 8 seconds, they're going to be 23, 24 pointers too, because they rode them right.
And when you talk about spurring them in the hairline, right, the very top of the neck, I've noticed that the rodeo equipment has changed a bunch. You rode all 3 now, Rick. The bronc saddles are different. They set further forward. They seem to set higher in the front end. The bareback rig and handle sits way up. I'm going to let you talk about this. And then finally, you got the Brazilian bull ropes for the bull riders.
Yeah. Oh, well, everything they've done as far as changing for these riggings. Let's go with the bareback rigging first. Like my bareback rigging, it didn't sit up very high on the backbone, but
did you start with a soft-handled rigging?
Yeah. I started with a soft, then I got a hard-handled rigging, the rawhide rigging. But now the way they're set up high to where the rider can get down into the rigging and then onto the horse's back, and be able to, when they do reach up forward, they're able to hold them and pull up and be able to place their feet in the neck or wherever they need to be on that kick. So the rigging, I think it's better for the horses than the way it was, because the reason why I say that is because the way we had to pull them back in was we had to cut them in half. We actually had to cut them in half. But now the way them riggers are set up, they don't have to really cut them in half. They just have to have them set right on them withers to be able to pull them up to get them snug, because the way they're built, the body's built on them, they're over the withers of the horse, so it keeps that body from moving back and forth. So I think the way the riggings are designed now are better for the livestock. So, and them sitting up high, it helps them out for the spring action in the front end.
And that's one of the theories I've been thinking about, as I see these riggings and these saddles, and I want you to talk about the bronc saddles here too. Is it possible the caliber of horses have gotten that much better? Is it possible for the Cowboys to keep up if they don't evolve the stuff?
Exactly, yes, definitely. Especially bronc riding, the way they got these horses coming now. Bronc riding, the way they get these saddles set up now, where they built these trees to put these saddles together and everything, they're built up in the front and they're lower in the back to where when the bronc rider does go to the front end of that horse, he is set in them swells to where he's not going to get pitched out. And with the buck rein, the way the buck rein is still the same, but yet the measurements, the way we used to do it, the measurements are different, the way they measure, but it's because of the saddles, the way they are designed now, they take a different rein the way we did back in the day. So, but it helps the bronc rider and it helps the horse the way they got it designed, the way them trees are designed now to build them saddles for the swells. The rule's still the same as far as the measurements of the swells, the diameter and the depth of the swell and all that. The rules are still the same, but they just built the saddle up more in the front end to be able for the rider to be able to hold on to when he goes to the front end and when he goes to the back end, and it's not hurting horses because they, even though they got them built up in front end, it still sits on the wither of the horse. It's going to sit there. It's going to stay there. So.
And a lot of these guys, and I'm talking about guys we see on TV, the Cowboy Channel and everything, on some of these broncs, they're laying almost flat back like a bareback rider. Are you seeing that locally?
Yes, I have. Ollie Stokes, there's a few of them bronc riders, yeah, they will do that. But the whole thing is if they take the arm behind them to lift the rein to the horse when he hits, they're going to be leaning back. But if you look at the kennel board, the way the kennel board's now, see, it used to be deep. They're down now. They're lower. For that, so that way these good kicking horses that kick up, that stand up on their nose, that way they don't get thrown out of the saddle. They're not getting dashboarded. They're able to lean back and be able to set their feet and chuck that rein and get their arm behind them to be able to keep them in that seat. And that's a pretty ride. I mean, when they do that, it's pretty. I mean, it's awesome. But they got to do that. They got to be able to chuck them feet up forward, or they're going to get dashboarded or they're going to get pitched. So, it's the changing of the saddle for the horse. Definitely, it's what they need to do.
Now, the other thing I noticed to allow that saddle to come a little bit further forward, are they moving the D-rings back just a little bit too?
The D-ring is not the same as what we used to have. It's a D-ring where the latigos could be moved back, which is a good thing because when they move that latigo back, it's going to pull down behind the swells of that saddle. So they got that give in the front end for when that hits for shock. So that I think it's a good thing the way they got it, the way they pull them latigos back and stuff to pull the horses down. I think it's even better for the horses. So yeah, some people now I know there are people that don't like that, but when I see a good bronc ride or I see good bronc riders riding. And I watch how they do pull their saddles down and stuff. It helps them, but it also helps that horse be able to stretch out and kick. So, it's going to be better for the cowboy, and it's also better for the horse. So,
it's always evolving, always evolving. So, last question. We know this year new rules in the IPRA affect. I know of two that affect the bronc riding, bareback riding, bronc riding. That affect calf roping. Talk a little bit about those and your approach. Are you a fan? And be honest.
I am. I mean, the rules just came about this year, so the calf roping deal, I think you're going to run calf roping horses. I think it's going to run the calf roping horse. I really do. I mean, I'm not a calf roper. Don't get me wrong, by a judge. But the whole thing is that it used to be that when after the calf's tied, they had to clear the calf, and then they had to mount their horse, step forward, and start to watch for 6 seconds. Well, that ain't what it is now. Now it's as soon as they clear that calf, the clock starts for 3 seconds. So now the contestant is not getting mounted for the step forward. So now that horse is being trained. Been trained for that rider to mount and take that step forward for that watch to start. Now, what's going to happen, I mean, I don't know yet because I haven't been in that situation yet, but what's going to happen when that calf roper clears that calf and I start to watch and I nod to the guys untying calves that time's all right. So if they start running that calf and that guy's going to that horse, what's that horse going to do? And I brought this question up to the other judge, and they said, well, they're going to have to train their guys untying calves. I said, good luck with that, But, I still got some questions on it that I'm waiting for other guys that have been judging some rodeos now and call them and talk to them and see what they're doing. Because it's just like, what about a calf roper if he reaches down, his time's done, he just stays there and waits for me to get a nod, waits for them guys to come over and he unties the calf. Is that legal or not? Or he goes and takes some rope off his neck. Is that legal or not? So, I mean, they got these rules, but yet there's more to it than just that 3-second rule. Done deal. There's more. I mean, what if the guys go run in, the horse spooks off, the horse starts running and stuff? Illegal drag. All right, what's the ruling now? Because you got a rule in there for illegal drag. You can't do it. So there's different situations they got to look at when they make these rules.
And the mark out rule.
Yeah, it's going to run. I've seen this before. They tried this before, the mark out rule. The only thing I think what's going to happen is these guys that are starting out, they're not going to use that initial mark out that to get that to start the ride. They're going to be starting in the flats or in the belly or whatever. But the guys that have been going and rodeoing hard and stuff, they're going to do the mark out. I mean, for them, it's better for them to start the mark out for their timing. So, because now these guys are going to be starting out either at the flats or in the belly. They're going to be so late getting that front end on that first jump.
It's going to hurt the score.
Well, it's going to hurt their score. And I mean, I'm going to take away from them, but it's a disadvantage to them because I watched that first jump because that's where the control. If they got that control on that first jump, then I've got to watch to see what they're going to do. How they're going to finish that ride. Where these guys that not reaching up the front end on that first jump, if they're in the flats, they're going to be behind. Right off, they're going to be behind. Now I'm going to have to watch to see how far behind they're going to be. Because you got this guy that did mark out or did start him out in the points and spurred. Then you got this guy in the flats that's starting. He's trying to get up there and he's late already. So how far behind is he going to be through the course of the ride? So, yeah, I mean, that's the way it's going to have to happen. I mean, the way I'm going to see it anyway.
So what's 2025 looking like for you, Rick? Going to be busy this year?
It's going to be busy this year. I'm cutting back because I don't want to be on the road as much anymore like I did in the past. We've done 25, 30, 35, 40 rodeos a year and bull ridings, and I'm getting up there in age. I'm slowing down, being selective of what I do. So closer to home.
Closer to home. Makes sense. Well, thank you for being on the show today.
Yep. Thank you very much. I Nice talk with you, definitely. Good question, very good question.
All right, man. Thank you, Rick. All right. We hoped you enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Chutes. If you did, please share us with your friends. Like us, follow us, subscribe, leave us comments. We love hearing from you. Hey, and do visit our Facebook page. We've got all kinds of reels up there. Beyond the Chutes is the name of our Facebook page. And visit our website, beyondthechutes.show. And we'd like to give a great big shout out to our sponsor, ParaSight Systems. They help the BTC bus on the road. They help us keep the wheels turning. And I have said in the past, I listen to podcasts, and I've got a brand new one that I want to pass on to you. It's called The Wandering Gypsy RV Life. Had an opportunity to meet the host, Stan Cromlish, when I was in Alabama. So do give a listen. You can find all of his shows. They are on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all the places where you go and listen. And just so you know, he has helped me keep the rig rolling and is doing some updates in 2025 to give us a hand. Now, speaking of podcasts, I've talked about them in the past. I hope you got subscribed to them and you're following them to make sure you pick up their episodes when they come out. It's called Rodeo Roots. Rob and Dan again, and Blue Jeans. What a great job they do. They talk about rodeoing, going down the road. They have such great guests on there. And with the 2025 rodeo season underway, you can count on a lot of stories from the road from this great trio. And I want to say thank you to the Kickback Ranch and Resort down there in Raymer, Alabama, about 20 minutes south of Montgomery. What a great host they were for that rodeo reunion we went to down there. And for your family, take them down. They've got all kinds of great things for you to do with your kids. Beautiful place, wonderful trails, beautiful lakes, and all kinds of good things. So find them at kickbackranch.net. Give Miss Mindy and the staff a call. They will get you set up. And I'd also like to say thank you to the IRA Facebook group page, Mr. Tim Sparks and Marlon Harris, keeping the IPRA rodeo heritage alive. And BTC is on the road again in 2025. We are scheduled to be at the 11th annual Mountain Cove Rodeo Reunion in Walnut Grove, Georgia, over Labor Day weekend. Marlon and Claire Harris, what a great job they do putting on that reunion. So many great friends come in. We were there last year, and we're planning on going back to this 11th annual. And we're also headed up to the Western Festival de Saint-Tite in Saint-Tite, Quebec, over the 10-day run, September 5th through the 14th. We're going to be up there. And we want to say thank you to our listeners for taking us along with you on your long overnight runs as your long rodeo travels are taking place this time of the year as this 2025 rodeo season gets underway. So until next time, be safe, keep listening. We'll see you down the road. This is Doug Simcox.